So in this video, I'm going to explain the difference between the text format and then how we can change that so it becomes vectorized text for when we're laser cutting or using the Cricut machine. So to create text in Gravit or in Adobe Illustrator, you go to the T symbol here, and then you drag out a text box like that, and then you can start typing, right? This, oops, it's all caps, can't understand anything. This kind of format that I'm using right now is a text format. And text format is determined by all of these appearance items on the right. So when I'm using a text format, I can change the font, meaning the appearance of the text, right? And we all know what fonts are, and there are many different types of fonts. I can change whether it is regular, bold, italic. We can change the size, and the size is dictated by points, PT. So I can make this bigger or smaller. And like I mentioned earlier, it can be bold, italic, it can be underlined or underscored, and then we have different alignments. This format is not recognized by a laser cutter because it's text. It's the kind of text that you would find in a Google Doc or in a Word doc. So we can't use this type of format. Whenever we are done creating text using the text tool, and we want our document to be fully vector graphics, and we want, for example, maybe to cut out the text or engrave it on the laser cutter, we need to be able to vectorize the text. So underneath my text format example, which is here, so if I double click, notice that I'm still able to type, and I'm still able to change the font and the size of this text. The example underneath is vectorized text. So look as I hover over it, you can see these purple lines. Those are the paths that I've created. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see better. I have the paths that are highlighted as I hover. And then if I go to subselect, you can see all of my anchor points. So this is a type of format that is recognized by the laser cutter. It is recognized by the Cricut or any other machine because it is paths and anchor points. And notice that here I can't change the text anymore. Once I vectorize text, it is the font that it is. I can change the size by resizing the whole shape or object, but it's not text anymore. It became a shape, it became an object, it has anchor points, and it has paths. Notice here I have fills and borders. So I can maybe put the fill to 0% and then I could add a border like that. And if I were to send this to the laser cutter, it would cut out all of my lines. Okay? So whenever we're working with vector graphics and we have a line of text that we wrote out, and we want it to be recognized by a manufacturing or prototyping machine, we need to select our text. So once it looks good and I'm like good with it, I'm going to go to modify, path, convert to path, meaning vectorize. So it's going to turn this text format into anchor points and paths. Okay, I'm going to double click to make sure. So I'm in subselect and it is now a vector graphic. I have all of these control points, anchor points that I can move around and modify as I wish. I can change the fill, I can change the border, and so on. Once I've vectorized the text, I can no longer change its appearance except for resizing it or making small changes to the control points. I can't change the font. I can't change whether it's bold, whether it's italicized, nothing. It became a shape right now. So I can only make those modifications that I can make to a shape, like rotating, flipping, resizing, and moving. Okay, so that's pretty much it. This is something that my students throughout the years have always forgotten to do You need to always vectorize text once you're sending it to the machine. Otherwise, it's not going to be recognized.